Welcome back to Politics Nation. In less than 48 hours, Donald Trump will be back in a Manhattan court for closing arguments in his hush money trial. We will soon find out if Trump will become the first former American president to be convicted or acquitted of a criminal offense. Here to discuss the possible political implications of Trump's verdict and other topics is my political panel. Rick Tyler, political analyst and former spokesman for Republican Senator Ted Cruz's presidential campaign, and Lauren Leader, Democratic strategist and CEO of All In Together. Rick, let me start with you. Jury deliberations begin this week in what may be Trump's only trial before Election Day. The Wall Street Journal today says, quote, an acquittal could give Trump new political momentum. It is possible a hung jury would too, end of quote. What could be the political impact of Trump's upcoming verdict? Will Trump be able to spin either a conviction or an acquittal into a win this summer? And what should be the Biden camp's reaction to each scenario, Rick?
Well, thanks for having me on, Rip. Well, first, I agree with the Journal. I think if he's acquitted or there's a hung jury, he will turn that into an advantage. He'll say it was rigged all along, and the great men and women of the jury, which he's already been harassing, would have acquitted him. I think if he is found guilty, I'm not sure, unfortunately, that it will have all that much effect. And the reason is that all the behavior Trump has demonstrated to date, we've grown accustomed to. So none of this is shocking to anybody. So why would they change? So I'm not sure there's really a deep political impact. I think Biden should make a big deal out of it. I'm sure that he's getting advice that because he is part of the government, but this is not part of his government. This is part of the state government, which is the state of New York, that he should talk about the fact that Trump first would be the first convicted felon who has ever served as former president of the United States and wants to run again. There's no business running for president because he's unfit to do so.
Lauren, Donald Trump has yet to announce his running mate in the 2024 election, but that hasn't stopped Democrats from sounding the alarm of any possible vice presidential candidate Trump chooses. The DNC rolled out a slate of billboards this week to attack Trump's VP contenders as extreme due to their stances on abortion and other issues. What do you make of this strategy?
Well, it's right. I mean, we know that the number one qualification that Trump seems to be interested in terms of his VP is absolute loyalty, right? And he didn't have that in his view from Mike Pence, who chose to side with the Constitution over the enormous political pressure that he was under from Trump and his acolytes on January the 6th. And so he's not going to make that mistake again. And I think that's part of what's so scary, is that if Trump is zeroing in on people who, yes, obviously represent the farthest extremes, which, at this point, it's hard to think of anyone more extreme than Trump himself, who wants to have a dictatorship day one, et cetera. But clearly, the main qualification that Trump is going to look for are people willing to do his absolute bidding. And we know that this is also part of their strategy for the entire administration. And that's part of what makes it so disturbing. We've had, in the first Trump administration, we had some checks on his power. I think he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that doesn't happen if he's elected again.
Rick, Donald Trump was not well received at all at the Libertarian Party convention last night in Washington, D.C. He reached out for their support and was subjected to a drone of boos. Take a listen.
Combine with us. You have to combine with us. The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for President of the United States. Whoa. That's nice. That's nice. Only if you want to win. Only if you want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Thank you, D-Roy. Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that. Keep getting your 3% every 4 years.
Now, Trump ended his speech after just 34 minutes, marking one of the shortest campaign speeches to date. What's your reaction to Trump's outreach to libertarians? Smart move or risk?
Well, it would have been a smart move if Trump had any idea what a libertarian was or what they actually wanted to hear, which he doesn't. It was very refreshing to see that even though I'm not a libertarian and I don't agree with many of their policies, that they do know what their policies are. I wish the Republican Party was as smart as the libertarians in terms of adherence to republicanism, which they're not. Trump doesn't have a governing philosophy. He's a populist. He believes in himself and whatever he believes at the moment that's politically expedient. There is no governing philosophy. That has been proven by the Republican Party's throwing away of their entire platform for a resolution saying that we just agree with whatever Trump says. So at least the libertarians, in that sense, know what they believe, and they know that their beliefs do not align with Trump. And my only point is neither do conservatives and neither do Republicans, in meaning republicanism. So good for them.
Lauren, in an interview for a forthcoming book, Hillary Clinton had some tough words for women and Democrats. She spoke to the role of sexism in the 2016 presidential race and said, quote, "Women were the voters who abandoned her in the final days because she was not perfect," end of quote. Clinton went on to criticize Democrats by saying, quote, "Even when they held control of Congress, Democrats were unwilling to pass legislation codifying abortion rights into federal law," end of quote. Now, women will play a huge role in this year's elections. What more can Biden do to secure their vote?
Yeah, I mean, and Hillary is dead right about a lot of this, which is the ways in which Democrats really took their eye off the ball, were not as committed as they could have been to protecting abortion rights, and frankly didn't take seriously the real threat that Trump posed to them. Clearly, Biden understands that abortion is the mobilizing issue for women voters today. Women are the majority of the electorate, and they're more likely to turn out in presidential elections than any other group of voters. He has to win them. And that's just cold, hard facts. I think Biden is doing everything that he thinks he can to do that. What my frustration has been is that I think the Biden administration needs to do more in terms of solutions. And Hillary is right about the federal law that has been, sort of the can kicked down the highway for years. I don't know that Biden is actually going to have the votes to do that, even if he gets a second term. So the question becomes, what can he do to promise and guarantee to women voters who are deeply distressed at the state of America in a post-Roe Dobbs world that he is going to be their champion and that he has solutions? And to me, that is one of the most fundamental. Biden is losing on his lookbacks, meaning every time he talks about the past and tries to tout his accomplishments, Americans don't seem to buy it. That's on the economy and a whole range of things, as we talked about on Morning Joe this week, Rev. But what he needs to do is start talking about the future. That's how Obama inspired his diverse coalition. That's what every successful president has done for a second term. Biden's got to do that too.
All right, Rick, Tyler, and Lauren Leder, thank both of you for being with us this evening.